someone wrote this to me on my last guide video, so let's just cut to the chase. You're here for the correct order of the bosses in Gurei, and I'm gonna show it to you in a second, but a warning first. The order alone isn't worth anything. The way you sort the bosses means you obtain some abilities sooner, abilities that can be used on the next bosses, and that's all this video is about. It's not just an order based on decreased difficulty, it's about having one ability first that's perfect to use against the next boss. So I really recommend you to watch the entire thing, to learn the correct strategy for each boss. Without further ado, let's get to it. Also don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. By the way, if you're a Hollow Knight player, set your key bindings like this. So, this is the order you've been waiting for. Write it down somewhere so we can begin discussing each one. The dragon is quite easy at level 1. You just have to dodge his attacks, but beware of the timings because this one takes longer and has a delay. There's not really anything to talk about here, so let's move on to the next boss. The cat. Stand still and wait for a ground attack, then dash through to dodge it. It's really important to dash through another way so the red counter gets activated for you, because the cat doesn't have that much health and this will tank her. For the energy balls, you don't need to jump as your sword can reach her from the ground. But for a second phase as she goes way up, do an hourglass pattern of movements. If the summoned cat causes you trouble, get close to it and then dash away, triggering its explosion. The bull. This one's entirely dodge based. Hit him a few times, dash through his attacks so your counter activates, rinse and repeat. Just a few tips. For the explosion attack, you can dash inside the danger zone without taking damage. You just need the right timing. The jump attack is easiest to avoid, but these two are two sides of a spectrum. The kick attack is really fast, while the slap is really slow and delayed. So based on whether you dash too soon or not, one of these can get you into trouble. My suggestion is that you should maintain a rhythm and focus more on your counters. The dove. First of all, the safest time to attack is when there are no crows in the arena and is about to throw some. Second, avoid jumping as much as possible. The dove is really fast with shooting the arrows, and since we don't have the mid-air dash yet, it's better to play it safe and wait for his attack to end and then get close to him to attack. The pound attack works great on the dove. There's no specific formula for this boss to be honest, and that's why I put it so early in the list, to make it easier to defeat. The Raven. This is where the real challenge begins. She has 3 phases and I only discussed the third, but this can be applied on all phases. The fire is her easiest attack and you should dash through, gaining a counter. For the orb toss, run away and dash at least twice to have enough distance to calculate where to stay. If this didn't help, a good strategy is to stay back as far as possible and only attack her by shooting arrows. For the energy slashes, if it's in the first phase just dash through and do a counter. But if it's not, you have to learn the rhythm. Dashing too soon will leave you vulnerable to the next slashes. Dash, wait a second, dash again and wait for her third attack. The energy beam is easy to avoid at phase 1 and 2, but for the third, stay in the middle until the first 2 beams shoot, then and only then dodge the third with the dash. Only one attack remains and that is the raining fire. Don't panic and don't dash. Start your escape with running and save the dash for when you are about to get trapped. You can also chain dashes together, but it might be a little difficult. Swan. Choose the shield and the sword. The sword has 2 attacks. For this one, wait till all the 3 lines are drawn and then jump diagonally to a safe zone. For this attack, you need to listen. The sword makes an intensifying sound and only attacks at the peak. Turn the music volume off from the settings if you can't hear that sound. Also, hitting the sword can interrupt its attack as well. As for the shield, you don't have to do anything for this one, just stay aside and hit the swan. For the rotating attack, keep attacking until 3 beams almost go past you. It's at the 3rd beam when the attack triggers. Simply run and if necessary climb this platform until it's over. The swan has 2 attacks as well. For the spade she shoots, dash away and then jump immediately. Why jump? Because sometimes the shield will bounce it back at you after you dash. For the lightning attack, if you can't get out of the danger zone, dash through it exactly 2 seconds after the attack triggers and you won't get hit. Pro tip, it might be better if you get hit once at the beginning of the fight, so the green slash activates and you can hit the swan easier. The Baboon, one of the main challenges of the run. What you should do is to balance things out between the boss and his decoys. You can't go after the boss and completely ignore them, but you can't dedicate yourself entirely to them either. The best thing to do is to drag them close to the boss, so you can hit all of them at once. The mid-air dash attack works like a charm. The decoys have 4 attacks. These 2 can be dodged. This one looks scarier than it is and just needs a few sword hits. But this one, be aware of this one. Watch closely how the decoy poses before the attack, and if it went like this, dash dash, jump, run, just anything to avoid that attack. The Baboon has 2 extra attacks as well. For the dynamite toss, remember this, the dynamites won't hit you, the explosion does. So instead of avoiding them right away, avoid the explosion. This can be a really good opportunity to attack if you can work out the timing. What remains is the swirling attack, which I don't recommend attacking them at all. Too risky, not really worth getting hit. Stay in the middle and only attack upwards to push him away. Towards the end of the fight, the Baboon starts yelling away and the spike attack triggers. The key to survive this is to start running before the spikes appear. Doesn't matter to which side. Gurei's movement has inertia and she runs quite slowly at the beginning. So keep moving, and when the spikes appear, rest assured that there will be always a gap in front of you to run towards. The Beetle, by far my favorite. The Beetle is exactly how it looks, a samurai fight. For him you either need a shield, which we don't have yet, or counter, and that's exactly where we're going with this. Forget about all your other abilities, you just have to dodge and you have to master it. Most of his attacks are just simple sword plays and I don't have anything to add except to say dodge, dodge, dodge. It's more of a hands-on experience that you won't learn without enough tries, but the ones that I can talk about are as follows. If he jumps in the air, either wait a second and then dash, or jump and do the mid-air lightning attack. You can use the lightning for his gust attack as well, but if you're far enough, dashing on the ground over and over can do the trick as well. For this attack, dash through him immediately and then jump, avoiding the charge attack. Every time you do a proper counter, a slashing sign appears above the screen. When the Beetle's attack sequence is finished, he puts his katana back to its sheath, and when he does, you get hit by those slashes from before. The way to avoid them, yes, you guessed it, is by dodging and countering even more. Keep your eyes glued here, and right when this X appears, that's the time to hit the dash button. The Beetle should be defeated by filling up this bar, so remember that it's really important to keep hitting him non-stop and actually perform those counters. Good luck. The Frog. Hold the attack button and throw a decoy here or here. Then use your arrow and spear to hit the other animals and defend your decoy. You should always be on the move, and if the decoy gets destroyed, summon another one immediately. And of course, don't sleep on that lightning attack. The decoy is key here, and if you can't manage to keep summoning it again and again, this boss will be a nightmare. Finally, the Fish, or whatever this is called. Again, you should rely on decoy, arrow, and spear. Stay as far as back as you can. If he throws a snowball and you don't have an active decoy, run towards him to avoid the snowball. Remember that this cannot be dodged with a dash, so just run forward and preferably go past the fish if the distance wasn't enough. Getting hit with a snowball will freeze one of your abilities and you can't use it for the rest of the fight. Healing is also key here and you get lots of chances to do that. Since we rely on shooting arrows and spears and decoys, the fish himself isn't the main threat. These falling stones are, so keep an eye out for them and keep hitting his shield. When the shield gets cracked enough, he charges towards you. Again, you cannot dash through this. Jump on the wall and jump back away. He hits the wall, staggers, and you can hit him a few times until he gets back up. Then a wave rush triggers, which you can avoid by jumping on this wall, sliding a little, land on the ground and jumping back again. When this attack triggers, note that hitting him might not be a good idea. You will be stationary for too long and the stones will close in on you. Not really worth it. What you can do instead is preparing a decoy and letting your health regen and lightning dash skill to refill. Up until now, we had a last resort for every boss, and that is the pink attack we get from the cat. But this boss is the only one we can't use the pedals against. The shield won't let us properly. So keep that in mind and don't rely on anything other than your ordinary tricks. Just avoid the snowballs and keep fighting. Good luck. So, the run is finished now, but that means something else is about to begin. If you don't want to get spoiled, hit the like button and subscribe and close this video now. For those of you who stayed, the final boss of the game is quite tricky. If you're interested and think it can be helpful, I'm gonna make a separate guide video for him as well. That also goes for the NPC puzzles. Tell me in the comments if you want one. Anyway, I appreciate all your support, and as always, don't you dare go hollow.